Bryan Kohberger is facing the families of his victims today, and they are not holding back. Right? Because earlier this month, Kohberger, he pleaded guilty to killing 4 University of Idaho students. And it's been one of the most high-profile cases in the nation ever since the murders happened back in 2022, which then resulted in a manhunt that led to his arrest. Right? With Kohberger then taking a plea deal that gave him 4 life sentences as opposed to the death penalty. And today, he had his sentencing hearing where families of the dead and the surviving roommates got to address him and the court. And very notably, many of these family members, they weren't happy about the deal that was reached, thinking that he should in fact be getting the death penalty. And their grief and their anger, it was clear as they delivered their messages with, for example, the sister of victim Kaylee Gonsalves getting a lot of attention online for saying this.
Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass.
Right. Many of the other family members, they also repeated this idea that he is of no importance. That this is the story of 4 people who were taken away too soon, and his memory, it's not going to live on.
The world's watching because of the kids, not because of you. Nobody cares about you.
I realized this moment isn't about you. It's about justice for Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, and Maddie. It's about honoring the beautiful people they were and still are in God's eyes. Her light still shines, and her voice will echo louder than this pain. You didn't take that from us, and you never will.
You are entering a place where no one will care who you are, and no one will ever respect you. You will be forgotten, discarded, used, and erased. You will always be remembered as a loser, an absolute failure. And when those prison doors slam shut behind you, I hope that sound echoes in your heart for the rest of your meaningless days.
You also had other family members focusing on the pain that they felt, the losses in their lives without their child or sibling or grandchild.
Maddie was my only child that I ever had. She's the only great thing I ever really did, and the only thing I was really ever proud of.
My heart aches for the kids' roommates and the families of the other victims, and also the family of the perpetrator. Going forward, we Mogans are choosing to put our energy and focus into honoring Maddie's too short life and sweet spirit.
And then you also had moments where family members said they forgave Kohberger.
You know, this is probably going to bother everybody, but Bryan, I'm here today to tell you I have forgiven you because I no longer could live with that hate in my heart. And for me to become a better person, I have forgiven you. And anytime you want to talk and tell me what happened, get my number. I'm here.
Right in that last part, it's about her still wanting answers. And that's a huge part of this case, right? Because the motive, it still remains unknown. I mean, we don't know why these 4 kids were killed. And that is, today, Kohberger declined to speak. And so it's just still this big, disturbing question mark. But with all this, some of the most talked about statements have come from 2 of the roommates who survived, right? Because there were 2 other people home at the time of the murders. And one said that she heard what sounded like crying from the other room. And she later opened her door and saw a man in black clothes and a mask. And once he left, she began texting another roommate who lived. They also notably didn't call 911 until a friend discovered one of the bodies the next day. And their story, it prompted a ton of judgment, but they got to share their pain and their perspective with the public today.
I couldn't be alone. I had to sleep in my mom's bed because I was too terrified to close my eyes. Terrified that if I blinked, someone might be there. I made escape plans everywhere I went. If something happens, how do I get out? My nervous system never got the message that it is over, and it won't let me forget what he did to them. People call me strong. They say I'm a survivor, but they don't see what my new reality looks like. They don't see the panic attacks, the hypervigilance, the exhaustion. What if it happens again? What if next time I don't survive?
I was still out of it and still didn't know what happened. If I had known, I of course would have called 911 right away. I still carry so much regret and guilt for not knowing what had happened and not calling right away. Even though I understand it wouldn't have changed anything, not even if the paramedics had been right outside the door. I hated and still hate that they are gone, but for some reason, I am still here and I got to live. I still think about this every day. Why me? Why did I get to live and not them? For the longest time, I could not even look at their families without feeling sick with guilt.
And then finally, after all the statements were read, the judge formally sentenced Kohberger to 4 consecutive life sentences. And that is, he told the families to sort of release themselves from wondering what the motive is and saying that, quote, there was no reason for these crimes that could approach anything resembling rationality.